We just finished building the ultimate long-range expedition overland rig. Earlier this year, Brad from Trail Recon was talking about doing a trip to the Arctic Circle all the way to Tuktoyaktuk. I have wanted to do that trip for a very long time, so when he mentioned it, of course I asked him if I could go along. And that got me thinking. I have a 600 horsepower Hemi Jeep Gladiator that drinks so much fuel. It is not the ideal vehicle for that trip, so I started to think about what would be the ideal vehicle for that trip. First and foremost, I knew if I was gonna do a full-size rig, it had to be a little bit extreme. It couldn't just be like a full-size truck with a camper on it, because that's not what we do. We go to hard to get to places. You're used to seeing the Trail Destroyer going through hard trails, getting places that are hard to get to, and I wanted to keep that spirit alive with this build. So after doing some research, there was only one way to go: the AEV Prospector XL kit, which lets you put 40-inch tires on a 3.5-inch lift on an HT truck. Problem one solved. The next thing I had to figure out was, what was I gonna do for living quarters? If I'm gonna do a full-size truck, I wanted to do something that had comfortable living space and also something where I could bring my family with me and we could all be comfortable. We all need to be able to sleep comfortably, live in it for extended trips if we want to. And that was my main goal, which led me to four-wheel campers. All right, it's happening. We are headed for Woodland, California to Four Wheel Campers to get the camper for the 2500 and get this build started before we start heading up to the Arctic. Nervous, I'm excited. We got a multi-day trip. I'm bringing Ada and Ellie with me. All right, we're in the Four Wheel Campers facility here. And I've got Sarah here is going to give me a tour. We're going to see how they do things around here while they finish putting the camper on the ramp. Wow, look at all the campers. Is this like the assembly line down here?
Yes. Yep. So you'll see on that end is where we weld all the aluminum frames, and then everything just gets put together, the skeletons, and then on this side is where everything pops out.
So as they get closer to this way, they're more complete?
Yeah.
Left California, if you can't tell by the dark clouds and rain. But there's some cool mountains here. We're in Oregon. We're gonna go meet up with David. He sent us some coordinates to find him. I think that's probably his Bronco sitting up there on top of that hill. We found David's Bronco, but he's not here. I think he probably went for a walk. We'll have to go and see if we can find him. We got to do the vlog hug.
Obviously. How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
What's your name?
Ellie.
Ellie. How old are you?
Now let's talk about the truck a little bit, because I knew that fuel consumption was going to be an issue for the kind of trips I wanted to do. I bought this 2023 Ram in spring of last year with the intention of it being my daily driver and not doing any modifications at all to it. Obviously, that did not last. It became clear to me very quickly that this was the perfect platform for what I wanted to do. It is a Cummins turbo diesel engine. It gets, with the lift and everything now, it gets about 700 kilometers of range per tank of diesel. And that is fantastic for a truck on 40s that is this capable. So diesel was a priority, large fuel tank, and that's what we've got with the 2500. I'm back from California. Long week to drive down there and get the camper picked up, put on the truck, but I'm so happy with it after we spent a couple nights in it. it's going to be perfect for this trip. So now I'm back home, and it's time to take it over to Epic Adventure Outfitters so that we can lift this truck and do the AEV Prospector XL conversion, which this truck is going to be insane. I'm really excited to see how it turns out.
I am going to...
Oh, you're not working on my stuff. You're working on someone else's
Obviously.
stuff. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you later. Mike, what are we doing over here?
I'm working on your stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're taking out the steering box?
Currently working on taking out the steering box. Just undoing some lines, letting it drain, and then I'll pop this out and we'll send it off and have it rebuilt so that I'll work with the hydro assist.
Sweet. Oh, I get hydro assist.
Yeah, you get a little extra power because you got the 40s going on.
Turn the steering wheel with one finger like this.
Yeah, like this.
You gotta drive like this to be cool.
There you go.
So the Ram is on the hoist. We've got this giant box of parts from AEV for the Prospector conversion. That's a lot of boxes. So, you know, it's probably gonna be cool because of the amount of boxes.
A lot of stuff.
How long is this gonna take, Mike? Can I have this done by the end of the day or what?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be done in one day. No problem. You know, fenders, tires, all of it. One day.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Just extra parts. Don't need those.
Yeah, thanks for making my truck lighter.
Yeah, those plastic pieces are going to make a huge difference on the performance of off-roading in this thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. You won't even believe it.
I hear it's the ground's birthday anyway. So.
Happy birthday to the ground.
Because it's Christmas in, what month is it? April?
Yes, it's April.
It's April?
No, is it?
Is it April?
April.
No,
It's
it's still
April.
April. It's still April.
So, until 2 more days.
Then I did miss my dad's birthday. Yep.
Happy birthday. Mother's Day is coming up, don't forget.
Yeah.
So we're going to open some boxes because we got a bunch of stuff here.
There's more than 5 boxes, so that's higher than I can count. So. Oh, that's for your snorkel.
Oh, that's the those are light mounts.
Couple of those.
Thought that I ordered the AEV 8100 piggyback shocks, but looks like I didn't, and they just sent me the standard Bilstein shocks. The piggybacks are apparently a bit better for a heavier build like this, so we may have to change those later, but since this is what we've got here right now, we're going to just use these for now. We'll see how it goes.
Why are the shocks so small?
Because I ordered the wrong ones.
Oh. Nobody caught that?
Apparently. I didn't know that there was an option,
Ah.
so
Well, that's fair enough.
It's okay.
it's a $2,500 upgrade, so
Oh.
we'll see how these do first.
Perfect. Sweet.
So the rear is mostly done now. Here we're on, day 3?
Yep.
Talk to me. What have we done?
The rear suspension is actually done. What we had to do is we added a new track bar bracket, some new links, also some new links for the airbag sensor so that it can always know to keep level. To get all this in though, unfortunately we had to, and then there's 2 upper spacers as well for your airbags
Okay.
that are bolted in.
These airbags are crazy looking, eh? Like this is the rear, instead of a rear spring, it's got these
It's just-
crazy airbags.
Just a bag in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, if I put the jack stands back under it, I can actually drop the back end right almost to the bumpers, like to the bump stops, because there's no air, no nothing.
Right,
It'll just
yeah,
keep going down.
That's cool.
It's done right there. As you can. Keep going, you almost got it. Good job. Way to go.
So are we going to be able to fit the 40s in here? How are we going to fit them?
Well, I think the easiest way is just to cut the box open and just make a bigger hole.
Cut it? Like,
Yeah, we'll just cut it. We'll just cut it out.
what?
Upper one.
Ellie, you recognize this truck? That's our truck and our camper.
Yeah.
We're making it bigger. Upgrades are cool, right? High five. So this is a good visual here. You can see as Mike's just lining up the fender for measuring purposes for what he's got to trim. You can see how much of the fender here is going to be trimmed. It's about 2.5 inches or so.
Yeah, 2.5, maybe 3 inches.
Yeah, to fit the 40s. Truck's coming along well. We've got all the fenders installed. The rear bumper is going on, and it's time for some more cutting. We're going to cut the hole for the snorkel. Mike is pretty sure he's cutting the hole in the right place. We'll find out momentarily. Stay tuned.
I think it's right.
You think it's right? Yeah, just cut it. It's just a.
If it's not, I'm blaming the ginger.
Okay, the ginger can buy a new fender.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. This is the snorkel here, so this is what we have to make a hole for. That'll be behind the fender.
Yeah.
And then
so
the snorkel goes through here and into there.
This piece gets up in there, and then it'll end up inside the fender here.
Just drilling holes in a $100,000 truck. Typical day here at Epic Adventure Outfitters. Minor holes.
Minor details. Sorry, Sean.
Look who it is. Metal Cloak Mike.
I do.
Yeah. I can see it. How you doing?
Good.
Good. You're in Canada.
I am. I'm in Canada, all the way north, and then heading south.
So weird to see you here.
Yeah, it's beautiful up here.
All right, so the truck has been shipped off to Pure Image to get wrapped. We've got the camper here on stands. Landon has finished installing the red arc inverter so that we actually have electricity from battery, which is very important. And now we're trying to figure out how to get a power wire from the electrical system up to the roof to mount the Starlink dish so that we can have internet without it, without making a mess and wrecking the camper, basically.
I want to drill through it.
So you gotta figure out how to get the wire across here and down into the electrical.
Down under the seat can.
We've repurposed the solar input port here as a power output port to go up to the Starlink, which we've suction cupped to the roof here, which hopefully will stay there. But if not, we're adding a little tether cable to keep it safe.
You know how hard it is to go a day without streaming YouTube videos?
What Mike's working on here is a mount for an extra 11-pound propane bottle that I'm gonna have on the back just in case, because I don't know how much propane this thing uses for heat. And we're gonna be really far north. I don't know how easy it's gonna be to get propane. So I'm just gonna bring an extra 11-pound bottle in case I need to swap it out so I don't freeze to death. All right, the truck is almost done. We've just got the fender liners going in. It looks crazy. I can't wait to get this thing out and try it out. I'm gonna do a full walk around of the truck for you guys, and as soon as it's not raining.
When's that?
Yeah, I don't know when that is. This is actually Mike's favorite build that he's ever done.
This is the best build I've ever done. This is amazing. This one was so much fun.
That is not what your therapist told me.
Well, you weren't supposed to talk to her.
Well,
Jeez.
You should. right, so I'm going to start with a walk around of the outside of the truck so you guys can see everything that I've done to make this long-range expedition ready, all the parts that I've added, everything I did and why. And then if you have any questions after, you can let me know in the comments, and I will try to answer as many questions as I can. But I'm super excited about this truck. I hope you guys are too. By the way, I should just say right away, we're not getting rid of the Jeep Gladiator. The Trail Destroyer is here to stay for a long time. This is for long-range trips and trips with my family, and trips that do not make sense for a V8 trail-destroying monster like the Gladiator is. So just to clear that up right away from the beginning, do not worry. Let's start with the tires. Of course, we're running Toyo Open Country MTs, the same as on the Gladiator in 40, 13.5 R17 on AEV Collada wheels. The truck has a 3.5-inch lift, and we've also trimmed the fenders to make room for these large 40-inch tires, which is the point of AEV's kit. Lets you put 40s on an HD truck, which is super cool. It looks so good and has so much clearance. This thing is way more capable than you would expect for such a large truck. Up here, we've added a snorkel, raised air intake for, water crossings and cleaner air. We're gonna add a dust pre-filter up here as well. That is just not ready yet. On the A-pillars, there is KC highlights, Flex Era 4 lights with amber covers. I like to have some amber light on the trail. Again, keeping with the AEV kit, we've got the AEV front bumper and brush guard up here on the front. You'll know from watching my videos that we go through a lot of tight trails, trees, bushes. That's why I wanted this brush guard, which is going to protect the front of the truck. And on there, we've got 4 of the KC highlights slim lights. These are super, super bright. They're so bright that we had to put two on one switch and 2 on another switch because they draw so much power. And then for a winch, we've got the Warn 16.5 TIS winch with synthetic line, with a factor 55 Fairlead and ultra hook on the front. All right, coming around the back, again, we have the AEV rear bumper on the back, which has these nice tube sliders here. And for a 40-inch spare, we added the rigged Ultra Swing tire carrier, which is really beefy, and it's got an anti-rattle device that you can tighten in so that it doesn't shake much. You can move it, but it doesn't rattle, right? You can move it because the 40 is super heavy. So if you open it up, it also has this nice fold-down table on the back with a cutting board, which is a nice bonus. I didn't know it came with that, but that's cool. All right, let's talk about the camper, because this is the best part of the whole truck. This is a pop-up camper, so it sits pretty low on the truck, meaning the truck is not too top heavy, and it pops up to be super nice living quarters. It also runs on propane for the stove inside, and it has a propane heater. And on the back of it, I added an additional propane tank mount, so that I have 3 11-pound propane tanks, which so far seems to be quite a bit of propane for this camper. Now up top, it might be hard to see, but we've put a Starlink dish flat mounted on the roof, and to power it, we repurposed the solar input port here because there's already solar panels on the roof of the camper. This is for if you wanted to add fold-out solar panels to get additional input, because this has a red arc system with just over 200 amp hours of Dakota lithium batteries in it, which I'll show you inside. But I just rewired it a bit, so this is a power output to go up to the roof for the Starlink, so that we can have internet everywhere. Also in the corner here, there is a mount. This came from 4-Wheel Campers. This is a shovel and axe mount. I don't know who makes this exactly, but it was an option on the camper, and super handy because you can never figure out where to put your shovel and axe when you're out camping, right? And when I was down at Overland Expo last year, the guys at Adventure Imports gave me these green Extreme Max Tracks, which I've had sitting around, and they match the truck, so I used some roller cams and I strapped them onto the back of the tire so that we have max tracks in case they're needed. We ran a cord from in the camper, under the truck, under the floor, and into there so that we could charge batteries, because I have lots of cameras and stuff to charge all the time. This model of the Ram 2500, the Rebel, it has rear air assist suspension. So it auto levels depending on the weight, which means that the camper isn't affecting the ride height at all. But the other cool thing about that is that you might be able to tell, you might not from the camera angle, but the truck is not level. It is nosed down towards the river here. But with one press of a button, using the bed lowering mode, I can level the truck. And just like that, not only is the truck level, it's easier to get into the camper. Bonus. Let's pop up the camper and I'll give you a tour of the inside. Welcome to the inside of the camper. So this thing is really awesome. I've been sleeping in it for several nights. We're already on our trip to the Arctic, by the way. The video will be coming next week, the first video in the series, but we are already 4 days into our trip. So I have been living out of this four-wheel camper for 4 days and I love it. So over here on the left side, we've got the stove. There's a 2-burner stove under here. We've got the flush mount sink. This has a water pump. So there's a water pump in here as well as a propane water heater. So there's hot water on demand. And as well with that hot water on demand, if you remove the kitchen table, you can see there's like kind of a drain vent in the floor. There's a shower curtain that goes here and you can have a hot shower inside the camper or outside, as there's a shower head port outside as well. We've got the thermal liner in here because we're in Canada. We camp in the snow all the time and I wanted it to be warm. But the propane heater here, it's got a Truma propane heater, which works really well. It keeps it nice and toasty in here at night. Loving that so far. I opted for the bamboo countertops table and the top of the left side cabinets over here, which looks really nice. One of my other favorite things about the camper is this gigantic fridge. So I'm used to a top open fridge, but this is like your fridge at home, right? Tons of space, and it's actually got a lot of cool little slides in the door so that you can secure stuff and it doesn't flop around even when you're off-roading. Very nice. Now, big feature that I got for the family. Yeah, it's got a cassette toilet. Pretty dope. It flushes. The table's adjustable. I can use this to sit here and eat or sit here and work. Being able to edit on long-range trips is pretty important. So stoked on that. And then the bed. The bed, I don't know what size it is in this form, but you can see these rails here. It actually slides out and becomes a king-size bed. Yeah. Plenty big for me and Ada and Ellie, so that's awesome as well. Now, if you guys are local and you're in British Columbia and you're interested in checking out one of these campers in person, head over to Overland Outfitters in Surrey. They're the official dealer for four-wheel campers in Canada now. And they're great people over there, great shop. They just opened a brand new shop and they've got some of these campers on display that you can go check out. So go check them out over there, tell them I sent you, and you can see if maybe one of these campers is right for you. Also have to give a massive shout out to Epic Adventure Outfitters for helping me to build this truck, which took about a month, as you saw in the video. So huge thanks to everyone over at Epic Adventure Outfitters. If you want to build a custom adventure rig, a Jeep, a Ram even, head over to Epic Adventure Outfitters.